think there's some treasure about here. I think I'm going to have to fight. Today, and welcome to a new segment of something. Basically, let's be quite honest here. It's kind of hard to, do a proper review on a game without beating. My opinion, this is my opinion. My opinion is, if you haven't beaten the game, you can't give a fair review because you didn't experience the initial content that was meant to be released. Side content iffy. At least the main content needs to be beaten. So that's my opinion. So I've been thinking about doing something like this, like a little mini 4-star impressions video. So I don't know. I should do a new update video before this comes out. But if that hasn't happened, well, one of my newer games is for the 3DS, and yes, it's this one. If you're anything familiar with the good doctor here, you might have heard, oh, I don't know, that's like a Professor Layton whip-off? Like, the announcement of the game, it's, when it got announced, everyone's just like, Professor Layton whip-off, ooh. So, this is my opinions and subjectives. So, let's get on it. So, does it really retain that? Well, I'd be a liar if there wasn't a few things that made me think it a little. But to be fair, the creator said he was inspired by Professor Layton. And when you're going to be inspired by something, well, you might actually, end up being a little like it. To be fair to the game, though, the only thing that really makes me feel something is directly being Professor Layton-ish is just the main character, the Doctor himself. Having a top hat and how he's always about logic and finding out the truth just makes him feel kind of like a alternate personality version of the Professor. Most of the other characters don't really come off as that way. And beware, I'm only 2 hours into this game so far, and I fought the first major boss. Not the little tutorial fight, but the first actual boss. And yeah, this probably will contain a little spoilers. The game doesn't really play like a Professor Layton game, that's for sure. To be honest, it's barely a Professor Layton whip-off. While it does have puzzles, the puzzles nowhere or anywhere near the kind of logical puzzles, at least so far, to a Professor Layton game. And, consider Professor Layton games throw some pretty fucking crazy puzzles out there throughout the entire journey. It's not solely holding up to being a whip-off quite well. It has an interactive world that is completely different from Professor Layton. It has tons of fucking locations you can go to in Paris. It's crazy. It's very Paris French, it has just a completely different theme in that. So, overall, the kind of whip-off feel that people were feeling this game was going to be, if they feel like that still, I don't see why. The game is barely anything like Professor Layton. None of the puzzles so far even spring any real... hell, be honest, most of the puzzles are really easy so far, actually. They're just really nothing challenging yet. There's not even a very big variety. I mean, in Professor Layton, some of the puzzles will repeat a few times, 3 times at times, and they're just progressive harder versions. But a good deal of them are unique. So far, there's only been 4 types of a puzzle so far for 2 hours. Yeah, not a lot of variety so far, though. This game, what this feels like more is it took a collection of ideas and mashed them all together to make it, different. And, oh dear, there's just so much different things to talk about here. Okay, first thing, there's an explorable world, like I said, there's lots of NPCs. It does have puzzles, but they're not very, very similar to Professor Layton. They're pretty simplistic so far and barely puzzles in my opinion. I really enjoy the atmosphere. Like, I like games that try to be different. You know, not a lot of games take place in, like, Paris and that, you know? That's kind of a different thing. Very interesting setting, to be honest. Now, something that's kind of jarring to me in a way, and this is just opinion, and this will probably apply to the newest Professor Layton game on the 3DS. It's actually something I've been feeling, was the joggingness of how the characters will look in 3D while trying to retain their simple design. This game goes 2D and 3D. It'll have dialogue scenes that have 2D art, which, to be honest, I like the 2D art. It has a very nice stylized design. The aesthetic design of the characters is very nice. The 3D models, when it does like a cutscene where they're moving around and shit, while it tries to keep that aesthetic design, it just doesn't really work, in my opinion. It doesn't obtain, like, keep a hold. It just seems jarring, in my opinion. It's like, keeps swapping between 3D and 2D. And then there are dungeon segments that have kind of a Metal Gear-ish feel, right? But it's not very stealthish. Like, it is stealth, but it's not like incredible amount of stealth, like dun 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 dun. No, 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 no. No, it's like, at the most, you can just stand out of people's sight and push things, pretty much, is all I've been able to do so far. Traps have been introduced, and they're all patrolling people that throw you back at the beginning of the room, which seems kind of weird. It's like, here, back to the stairs. Shouldn't we throw him out of the dungeon? Well, that'd make it annoying for the player. Should we at least offer some kind of logical explanation why we don't just throw him all the way out of the dungeon? Nah. I don't know, it just seems kind of weird in that aspect. The traps so far seem alright. And there was then, what's even weirder, I didn't watch videos and stuff for this game. I just remember when it was first announced in the first trailer. And, apparently I missed all kinds of stuff, because I missed, like, what was supposed to be one of the biggest aspects of the game, the battle system. The battle system, that's why. A game that people were toting as a Professor Layton ripoff has a battle system. So basically you find these treasures that can be all kinds of things. Or knives, gauntlets, and goblets, and statues and shit. And they have living spirits in them, but the doctor can't see them. Only his assistant on the side there, Sophina, can see them for some reason. So she helps him identify these treasures. And you place them around the one you're fighting, and if you get in this blue zone, like, it'll have its energy meter, which is basically its HP. If you can get into the blue zone without killing it, you tame it, you gain it, and it's a Pokemon mechanic, you know? It's a Pokemon monster mechanic. You can only take 3 of them into a dungeon, but all the ones you get in that dungeon will be with you. So, you know, you might go on a new mission, you bring your initial 3, and you find 3 more, so you have 6 for the final encounter of that dungeon there. Apparently you can backtrack and leave a dungeon, which I'm not 100% sure if that makes you fall back to 3 starting ones that you go back in. I would think so, but it'd be nice if they designed it to allow you to keep the ones that you got inside, but that's something else I have to test. The first boss is killed 3 of my treasures, so I'm thinking, I saved before the boss, so I think I'm going to go backwards and let them get their HP back and see if I can take him without anyone dying, because all my treasures at the moment that I have are pretty low on HP except for 2 of them, but they can't do enough damage because they're not the right type. Now, I have to comment on the battle systems. No, like, this game does not give you a lot of information about the battle system. I'm still trying to figure it out a little. Like, it's not incredibly complex, but the fact that the book has 2 languages, and, you know, obviously your one language, you got the control page, getting started, which basically shows you type in your name and you start your game in the warranty. And that's it. That's it. And then it just goes into the, usual crap about health and shit. Nothing about combat. The game tells you very little about the combat. I'm still trying to understand all the types. From what I can understand, there are 5 types of spirits, and I'm still trying to remember each one. Most of the beginning ones are pretty easy, but the boss one, I don't know if it's its own type or if it has an icon, because the game nowhere, as far as I can tell, shows you all the icons for each spirit type, and the booklet has none. There's not even, aside from the front page, the cover, there are no pictures inside the fucking thing except for the typewriter where you enter in your name. That's very important. Remember, folks, you have to know what that typewriter looks like. It's the meaning of all life. All life. I mean, get in my bag, quick. Squad the ball, wheel off. But, so I'm still trying to, understand that. It seems like there's a plant, flying, aqua, a humanoid type, and I'm not 100% sure what the other type is called. Like I said, I only played 2 hours, so still a little on there, and so far I can't find really anything that lists what each icon. Like, 2 of them are pretty obvious, since one looks like a dolphin and one looks like a bird, but then there's this one that looks like a claw and one that looks like a cross. Or plus, I guess. It has the kind of cross ends that you usually see on a cross, so I don't know. But it's a little interesting, but it doesn't seem like, initially it seems interesting, but it doesn't look like it's going to be enthralling once you start getting a lot of spirits, because you can only take in 3, and whenever you get there, you also get gems that's currency that you can also use in combat, but if they get killed, they're dead. You can't use them as currency anymore. They have to be alive still. But they don't have an actual... They supposedly have a spirit, but they're just generic spirits, I guess you could say, that don't matter, and once they're dead, they're gone forever. But no currency, and there's basically a point system in this game, similar to Professor Layton, that you would use to acquire more puzzles. That instead is also another form of currency, your reputation, and you can use that to also purchase items, which are basically for recovering HP and reviving your spirits if they're killed in combat. And there's supposedly tons of side quests for more of these spirits while continuing the main storyline. And I've only dabbed a little into the storyline. It seems like it's going to evolve around the classic story of the man in the iron mask, and it seems like it has a decent setup. So overall, it's like a game with a lot of interesting ideas, but some don't always seem like they'll work. It's kind of a mixed thing. So I wouldn't say, as a first impression, I'm pretty impressed for some of the interesting ideas, but I'm kind of worried if it's going to stay interesting all the way to the end, or if some of the elements now are going to either fall to being not as interesting or strategic, or just repetitive. Especially like the dungeon exploring. Because, I mean, all you can really do is run around and push things so far. And unless they add more mechanics to it, I don't see that being very interesting. Because there's just... there'll be random police or these knights in iron masks that are wandering around. And if they see you, they run. You can try one from them, but they're faster than you. So they'll eventually catch you and throw you at the beginning of that room. So, I mean, it doesn't seem very pony-ish, and it doesn't seem so involving in the dungeon aspect. And, I don't know. The music seems alright so far, and the voice acting, that's actually really good. The voice acting is very nice. I like the voice acting. It's pretty good. I think they all fit the roles pretty nicely. They don't sound awful. The 2 bumbling, full goons of the villain sound sound like they might have some hysterical things later on. Like I said, it's only 2 hours in. But overall, I'd say the game is worth taking a look at. It's not too expensive. It's still a pretty decent price, new. I think it's $19 new, I think. So not incredibly expensive. I'd say it's worth a check. But like I said, this is just the first impressions, not a finalized review. So I'd say if you're looking for something different, this could be something interesting. But obviously I have to finish the game, and I'll give my full impressions on it at that point in time. I probably have no plans of doing a Let's Play because it's very story-oriented and very puzzle-oriented. So we don't want to sit there and try and watch me go, I know I've taken way too much time to solve some of Professor Layton's puzzles sometimes, so, yeah, I think I'll pass on that, but, so, it'll be something I'll be just doing off screen myself. Overall, if you have played Bean or anything, you know, if you want to share any thoughts, feel free to. Overall, those are my impression thoughts of the game. Puzzle solving adventure game. Not so many puzzles, I'd say, so far. Considering 2 hours, I mean, 2 hours in Professor Layton probably would have already had like 30 puzzles by now. But overall, it seems like an interesting idea. It just seems like maybe too many ideas in the game. Like it's a little unfocused on what it wants to do. So, kind of a mixed thing now. But so far, it's intriguing to me. But anyway, I'll see you all next time. So, I gotta go find some more treasures. Because that final boss is, well, not final boss, but the boss I'm currently at is, I don't want anyone to die, so it's time to take it personally. What? Why? I can't fight it? Damn it. Why the hell is everyone like this? There's ghosts possessing freaking freakish armor and stuff. And, yeah. How people use these? I tell you. You gotta be careful. You're just gonna go, ah, my arm! Ah! Okay. Anyway, I'll see you all. Blah, 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 blah.